Good day, YouTube. Today's the 20th of October, 2019. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's a little darker in here than I thought. This is the faceplate off of a Yamaha Powered Mixer EMX 640. I purchased this thing a few weeks ago and I broke my own rules. I always take equipment with me to test used audio equipment when I buy it. I own, I don't know, 10 powered mixers, and like 7 of them are Yamahas. Never had any issues with them. They're almost impossible to hurt. This one was in storage, in a storage unit or something for a long time. And I don't know what is going on, but when I got it home and actually tested it, the 640 has 4 outputs, basically 2 stereo outputs. The 6 means it's 600 watts. It's 300 watts per amp. So there's a main amplifier. You see that there. Then there's a monitor amplifier on the top side. They're 300 watts apiece. The main amplifier does not work. That's a bummer. I only paid $75 for this, so it's not like I'm out hundreds, but I don't like to lose. That's faceplate off of it. This is the chassis or the carcass. And then this, sorry, I didn't know it was going to be so dark, is the guts out of it, and then that's the heat sink that this all attached to. So I've been inspecting everything, looking for a ruined component that you could see from the outside, or a cold solder joint. I've been on the back side of the faceplate, and it just looks fine. I might take a brush to it lightly and clean it up, but I don't see any discoloration of any kind, any heat issues, or any solder joint that's not shiny. On the amplifier portion, the components appear to be okay. You can see the capacitors, nothing's bulged or anything. I believe it's okay. But in looking over the back of it, you can see where the big capacitors are soldered, these two and these two. I have suspicions about what I see here. See if I can get the camera to focus. I apologize. But you can see around them, I don't know if that discoloration, and camera may not pick it up, but naked eye sees those as being, there's a little better view, as being discolored. So I'm going to hit those again with a solder gun, clean this thing up and reassemble it and see what happens. I'm certainly by no means an expert at repairing this kind of stuff. I'm just looking for something obvious, and I'm not seeing anything that jumps out at me except for those. That's the smoking gun. That could just simply be a flux from when they were soldered originally. Maybe they've been replaced once. I don't know. That's the only thing I see right now anyway that I'm going to touch up. And then I might do a quick reassembly and give it a try and see what happens. Alright, we'll just do that, and I'll get back to you if I'm successful. No sense, I guess, posting a video of a failure to correct a problem. It does work on the other amplifier and it works fine. I just don't know if I want to keep it around for if only half of it works. So let me get those done. Alright, I hit those, what I thought might be cold solder joints. This is a long shot at best. Putting her back together. Let's get this last deal plugged back in. It's really hard to do in the film. Don't want to bend anything. cleaned up the PC board, that one there, and I don't know, this is just kind of how I do it. Just take a flux brush, very lightly, just quickly. We're knocking dust and dirt and whatever off of it. I'm putting it back with just a minimum amount of screws to hold it together because I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. If it does, fantastic. We'll come back and put the rest of the screws in. But little cleanup on aisle 10. All right, let's put the, oops, take my light out. Again, I'm just going to stick a couple screws in there and I'm going to take it downstairs and try it out. Cross your fingers, everybody. Cross your fingers. Well, I put it back together, went down and tested it. Still didn't work. Came back, took it back apart. And I came through and resoldered all of these. These must be the amplifier chips because they attach to this heat sink. And they get hot. So, knowing that they get hot, there's a lot of temperature, you know, they heat and cool, I went through and did both sides, resoldered all of those with a solder pin. So I guess all I can do now is put it back together again, go try it out again. I'll put a minimum amount of screws back in it so it doesn't take so long, and we'll try it again. But I took it downstairs and tried it out. Now I'm bringing it back up here to take it back apart to put all the screws back in it because it works. Yes, that was it. I'm very, very happy. So let me take it apart. I just put all the screws back in it. And we'll take it back down and show you how good it works. Yes, very happy, very happy, very happy. Alright, I got all the screws put back in all of these and got everything put around it from the back side. Got the heat sink all screwed in. I just got the 6 screws for the front to put back and we'll be done. But I just thought because I really didn't show the solder process. My solder pen is not hot right now. But I just thought I'd show it to you because I failed to do that. I actually didn't think this whole operation was going to be successful. Sorry, I had a text come in. So what I was doing is starting off with the ones that I felt showed the most discoloration that, you know, may actually benefited from that, and that didn't work. So took it and pulled it back apart and just went for the ones on the amplifiers, these back here. So the back side of these are all screwed into that aluminum heat sink, right? So that's doing all the work. Those would be my second choice. And I went through and re-hit every one of those. And how I did it was on the tip of my pen, sorry for the focus, you know, I put some solder and then went down to each, sorry for the focus, there we go, to each one of these, and I remelted, added just a little bit of solder and not much heat, and let it go, and then went on to the next one, and then went on to the next one. It was very quick, and that's how we did it. So it was certainly kind of a crapshoot, but when you think about it, those are the ones that are doing all the work, that are getting all the heat, that are taking all the abuse. And I actually hit one, when I hit it, it almost like it sparked. But what I really think it was like an air pocket, possibly had some flux inside the solder joint, which would have made it cold internally, and it failed over time. So I believe I found it as I was soldering, but I redid them all, and what do you know, it works and it sounds great. So it makes me very happy because, again, I paid $75 for this thing. If I'd known it didn't work, then I'd have probably still bought it, but at a much better price. Maybe get $25 for it. And the guy, I'm sure it worked for him just fine. Again, it's been in storage for some time, and it probably failed while it was in storage. I'm sure the guy didn't try to rip me off. I've actually done business with this guy before, as it turns out. Anyway, let me finish buttoning this thing up. I just got to plug that cable in and put 6 screws in it. We'll go down, hook it up, and I'll show you it working. Well, we interrupt this regularly scheduled test of the amplifier to bring you some startling news. Look at this. I only have a little bit of battery left. Yes, something bad happened. I don't know if it did it when I was cleaning or what, but there's a tracer that has gone to heck, and it was laying in there precariously. Do you see that? So I'll have to look real close at what was connecting what to what and try to jumper that with a wire, because that tracer on the PC board is gone, and it was doing bad things. This thing was making very bad noises. I don't know if it's fixable at this point or not, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to solder a wire where that used to be and get that off there. There is room for that when I flip this over and screw it back down. Gosh, I hope it fixes. I had this thing working. It was sounded perfect. And then after I screwed the whole thing back together, put all the screws back in it, no. It was like, didn't work at all. And the one amplifier used to work. There's 2 amps in this thing. The main wasn't working, the monitor was, and now nothing works, and it makes bad noises. Alright, I'm going in. Alright, it's the next day. Let's get to fixing this thing. Let's, The thing of it is, I don't know if this is a cause of the problem or a result of the problem. If I fix it, does it work? Or if I fix it too good, does something else go? I really don't know, but what have I got to lose? It doesn't work now, right? So let's cut this old one out. Alright. Ooh, solder pin's hot. Almost got me. Cut this one out. Alright, it's just a little bit hard to get a hold of. There we go. I think I have options as to where I put this, but I'm just going to put it back very similar location where it was. I'm going to solder it in from here to here, just because. What I chose to do is I took a piece of number 16 wire gauge copper wire and I pulled 2 strands out of it. I took a small piece of shrink tube and went over it. We'll solder one piece, slide the shrink tube to this side, we'll trim the wire to length, and we'll solder the other end. To do that, we'll have to tin the end of that wire. Tinning the end means just put some solder on it. Sorry, I didn't have solder ready. I have to get it off my reel, which is right behind you guys. I've got this lifetime supply of solder I picked up at a yard sale that I don't think I can use in the time I have left here on this earth. So I have to come back and see what you can see. So, we don't want to drop any solder on here, but we're going to put some solder on the tip of this solder pin to clean it, alright? Now, we're going to set the... I'm going to get out my little deal here. If you don't have one of these, get one. The little clips. Sorry. Let me take you out of zoom so you have a fighting chance to see anything I'm doing. Alright, so we've clipped this little wire in there so I can tin the end. I'll shake the leftover solder off. for the moment. Again, we're going to stick it right there. So, start off with some new solder on my tip of my machine. We'll take the wire out of its clip and let's solder it to the board. Alright, we'll let that sit for just a moment. Like I say, we're going to slide the shrink tube down, making it tight, because we don't want it to get into anything else. I'm going to take my wire cutters, check my length. We're going to have to bow that just a little bit. I'm going to expose just a little bit of copper at the end. We're going to twist it. Again, this is just 2 strands of 16-stranded copper wire. Now, carefully tin that. Again, we got to clean the end of our tip. So I'm going to put some solder on here to clean it. We're going to tin the end of this wire. That's good. And now we're going to hold it to this spot here very carefully. Yeah, I'm going to have to do this again. I need a little more solder. That one's just not enough there to make it work as I wanted it to. Let's try again. There we go. Alrighty. Nice and sturdy. So, unplug the solder pin. Think it'll work? Oh, I've had this thing apart so many times. Well, let me stick her back together. Let's give her a test run. All right, let's test this thing out. I am re-videoing this segment because I got caught running copyrighted music when I did this segment yesterday. Although I pulled it up, it said non-copyrighted. That's what I searched for. The second time I got pinched for it, pulled the video off. So we're going to listen to if this thing works, which I can tell you that it does. Crabbing video I did with my dad. This is my video. Can't get in trouble for that. All right, let's plug it in. Power on. Make sure everything is down. I'm running on channel 5, stereo mode. We'll turn the amplifier on. I have the speakers plugged into amplifier 1. This is amplifier 1. It is 300 watts. This is amplifier 2, or better known as the monitor. And these are the mains. It was the main that wasn't working when I bought this. When I had that problem, you know, that I soldered that wire across the cure, nothing worked. So we're back to hopefully par. Everything's going to work good. And the only audio we're going to hear is the crabbing video. So we'll turn the main up just a little bit. We'll turn this channel up.
No. You'll be back in 1 second.
There we go. Hey, we get to listen to the boat.
Okay, we're back. We're heading out to the...
And it works great.
Secret crabbing location.
Perfect everywhere.
I'm not sure with my big butt in the room.
All right, let's stop it there for a minute because I'm not sure how long the video is. Let's try the monitor amplifier. I got to plug the speakers into the monitor output. 1 down, 2 down. We'll go a little throttle on the monitor, and then we'll turn this channel up. And then we'll get rid of that, and then we'll hit play. All right.
40 horse and 50 is going to get it.
Works great.
Yeah, it will. He's kind of running it real hard. Still warming up a bit. Looks like we got 59-degree water or 20.
You can go to my channel and find this video
need to know where we're crabbing at.
One guy figured out where we're crabbing at
So my
today.
dad lives in Kenai, Alaska. And
All right, guys,
for about 3
it works. Pretty happy about that. Very happy about that. I don't like to lose. I bought this thing. I paid what I call real money for it. It was $75, so it's not like a token. If I'd have known it was broke, I'd have got a better deal, or I'd have made a better deal, or I'd have walked away. But sometimes you got to end up with stuff like this so you can stretch your legs a little bit and see if you can fix stuff. And so this was good. This was a good repair. It'll last forever. I'm not done testing it. I will run this thing 7 days and nights with audio running and 2 or 4 speakers, probably hook all 4 speakers up to it, and just run it here in the barn 24/7 for 7 days before I take it, you know, on a paying gig, because we don't want failures. If it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail right here. I'll take it apart and have it for parts and knobs and stuff. All right, guys, thank you guys for coming along with this little ride, kind of an impromptu video, but a repair I've been putting off for a month or 2 since I figured out the thing didn't work. I'm very happy that it does work, and made a little video on it. So gang, thanks for watching. Appreciate your comments. I don't get to respond to them all, but I do read all that I can. And hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already so you're notified of future videos. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.